Have you, your FBI report does show some travel. I think it was to Georgia and Azerbaijan. You marked that that was not for tourists.
Are you referring to August of 2021 when we went to go get the Americans out of Afghanistan?
I'm just
That's
saying.
what that travel was for, which
Okay.
we did
So
clarify that.
you have traveled. So you've traveled to Azerbaijan and Georgia. That was in your FBI report, although you just said you've never traveled.
Senator Gary Peters of Michigan is not the loudest interrogator in the room. He is the ranking Democrat on the Senate Homeland Security Committee, and he came prepared with dates, letters, public statements, and an FBI background report. Across from him was Markwayne Mullin, President Trump's nominee to lead the Department of Homeland Security. Mullin had spoken about war, special assignments, and things he said he could not discuss. So Peters built the record slowly. One quote, one document, one question at a time. Watch what happens when the biography meets the FBI report.
Sir, I thought you were referring to a different time, but in 2021, it was well documented. In fact,
Okay.
It was all over the news, and I actually did say that, and we put that down on the report. But that was us, which was all over the news, trying to go with a extremely experienced team.
I've got other questions, thank
Yeah.
you. But so you have traveled overseas, despite your previous comment. Were you ever, excuse me, ever an employee, volunteer, or otherwise involved with the Department of Defense, the State Department, or other U.S. agency or contractor for any of those departments?
No, and Senator, I think there's a misunderstanding here that I could clear up if you want me to clear up for you.
Please.
Okay, so, which this is official trip, and it is classified. But in 2015, I was asked to train with a very small contingency and go to a certain area, which was scheduled for 2016. During that time, I was asked to go through, had to meet certain training qualifications, had to go through SEER training. The training and stuff was kind of fun. The SEER training was absolutely awful. And I have spoken in general about my experiences, but I've never spoke specifically on details, on dates, or on the mission. And that was official, and there was nothing in the report to the committee. Actually, it said you do not have to claim any official trips. And like I said, that was an official trip that is classified.
This is an official trip while you were a member of Congress?
Yes. 2015, 2016, I was a member of Congress.
And
Some of it may be public, but it would be very small. Most of it, because of my recollection, which we're going back 10 years, I think there was only 4 people read in on it.
So where was that trip?
I just said it's classified, sir.
It's classified. So the letter that we sent to you said that we need to have information of any of these activities.
It said not official trips. Your paperwork was very clear, excluding any official trips. This was an official trip as a member.
Well, we have more questions we're going to have to ask. When in the FBI report, I asked, is there anything in that report that is classified, that you were involved in any kind of classified operation at all? And there's none.
It was also excluding, it also said excluding official duties. It says that. And you guys had the paperwork in front of you, and it always says excluding official duties. We had this committee come to us and ask the same questions. We talked about doing mission work. We talked about doing mentorship. But they said official duties that was in your official capacity does not have to be talked about.
So where did you smell war?
Sir, I just said that this was classified, and the dates, locations, and admission, I've never spoke specifically details about.
Well, we can get that information.
That's fine.
Mr. Chair.
You're welcome to get it.
We will want to find out more information about that.
That's perfectly okay,
It's important to
Senator.
have the truth here, and that you're portraying yourself in a truthful way.
Sir, I'm not portraying myself in any way other than you're asking the question. I said I would try to clear it up for you.
We'll continue to work on that.
Thank you.
After DHS officers shot and killed 2 American citizens this past January, you joined top administrative officials in publicly blaming and disparaging the victims. Following the killing of Renee Good, Secretary Noem called her a domestic terrorist. You, sir, you called Alex Preddy, quote, a deranged individual that came in to cause max damage. Could we expect those kinds of quick responses if you are confirmed as secretary? Would you be basically, well, you did, you responded as Secretary Noem. Are we going to just expect that same behavior all over again?
No, Senator. I have a deep amount of respect for you. We've had our differences, but I do respect you. I think I said this privately when we had a conversation. Those words probably should have been retracted. I shouldn't have said that, and as Secretary, I wouldn't. The investigation is ongoing, and there is, like I said, there's sometimes going to make a mistake, and I'll own it. That one, I went out there too fast. I was responding immediately without the facts. That's my fault. That won't happen as Secretary.
So you regret that statement?
I already said that, yes, sir.
Would you want to apologize to the family of Alex Preddy?
Well, sir, I just said I regret those statements.
Is that the same as an apology?
I haven't seen the investigation. We'll let the investigation go through, and if I'm proven wrong, then I will absolutely.
How would you characterize your relationship with President Trump?
He's a friend.
How frequently have you spoken with him in the past year?
Often, most of the time about my family. If you want to explain the friendship, I'll tell you. My wife will tell you the same thing. When someone loves your kids when they're going through a difficult time, like we have, the amount of outpouring of support from the president and the friendship we saw going back to 2000 or 2020 was quite remarkable. And so I speak to the president from a friend level more than I do a policy level.
Okay. I have more questions, but my time is up.
Thank you, Senator.
We'll be doing it in a second round. Thank you.
What Gary Peters put on screen was not a theory. It was a timeline. Markwayne Mullin had spoken publicly in the language of combat. He said war was something a person could smell, taste, feel, and hear. He referred to special assignments outside the Department of Defense. He said he had not worn the uniform, but may have been in the same area. Then Peters moved those statements into the record. A confirmation hearing, a nominee under oath, public interviews, a March 11th letter, a March 12th addendum, and the FBI background report. That is what Peters brought, not volume, documents. He asked whether, before Congress, outside vacations, or mission work, Mullin had ever traveled to a foreign country. Mullin answered no. Then Peters pointed to the FBI report. According to Peters, the report showed travel connected to Georgia and Azerbaijan. Mullin then testified that the travel was tied to August 2021, during efforts involving Americans leaving Afghanistan. Foreign travel is not the issue. The shift in sworn testimony is. The first answer was clean, no. The second answer came after the file appeared. The document did not accuse him of a crime. It forced precision. Then Peters narrowed the record again. Had Mullin ever been involved with the Department of Defense, the State Department, another U.S. agency, or a contractor? Mullin answered no. That leaves the unresolved space. No uniform, no DOD role, no State Department role, no agency role, no contractor role, but public statements carried the weight of proximity to war. Mullin's response was classification. He testified there had been an official trip around 2015 or 2016. He mentioned SERE training and a small group. He said the dates, location, and mission were classified. He also argued the paperwork excluded official duties. That may answer procedure. It does not answer trust. This was not only about a form, it was about meaning. What did the nominee want the public to believe? Why did the details become unavailable only after they were tested under oath? That is why Peters' question matters. So where did you smell war? It was not a punchline. It was a record question. DHS is not symbolic. It controls detention power, border power, immigration enforcement, threat response, and armed federal action. It touches airports, families, workers, asylum seekers, and citizens. If an official speaks before the facts are complete, people can be branded before investigations finish. If a nominee relies on ambiguity when asked for specifics, trust begins to collapse. The pattern hardens near the end. Peters raised Americans killed by DHS officers. Mullin testified that he responded too quickly, spoke without the facts, and that it was his fault. But when asked whether regret was the same as an apology, he stopped short. Strong claims in public, narrow answers under oath, regret without full accountability. A confirmation hearing is supposed to test judgment before authority is granted. Here, the file did what oversight is built to do. It made the story answer back. It was not whether the biography sounded powerful, it was whether it could survive the permanent record.